Hello to all astrology lovers. Today, we are discussing the upcoming new moon in the sign of the zodiac Scorpio. It will take place on November 1st at 1446. Our time in 9 to 10 degrees of the sign. In general, before we examine the features of this full moon, let's discuss what this astrological event is and how it manifests in our lives. Firstly, the new moon is an astrological event when the moon and sun align in the same zodiac sign, positioned at the same point in the sky from the perspective of an observer on Earth. At this moment, the moon is between the Earth and the sun, its illuminated side is not visible, and it appears to be disappearing. The new moon always opens. The new cycle lasts 29.5 days, and in general, the new moon activates energies in our lives that are related to the beginning of everything. New. This means it is a time for launches, planning, and manifesting our desires and intentions. The energies of the new moon are considered the beginning and symbol of new beginnings, new desires, and plans. It is like a blank slate. This is a time when we can make any wishes and build plans. Moreover, the new moon strongly focuses us on our intuition. It creates a deep inner focus because it is during the new moon that the sun and moon align. This aspect always brings us events. But, in addition, I call it a kind of bridge when our consciousness connects with our subconscious. We are receiving a completely new volume of information that will manifest for us in the upcoming period, which will mark a specific new moon. Naturally, the characteristics of the new moon's manifestation and its energy depend on the specific sign of the zodiac in which it occurs, as well as in which house of the horoscope this astrological event is realized. Here we can already look at our individual natal charts and understand which area of life the new moon will specifically activate in the next 5 to 6 months. Furthermore, I believe that the new moon is essentially a monthly reboot of our lives when we can start something anew, restart something, or basically launch or begin from scratch. And it is important to consider that the moon is a manifestation of our psyche, our subconscious. Therefore, it is very important here. This period draws attention to our inner voice. And now let's look directly at the features of this new moon. It occurs in the sign of Scorpio. What does this mean for each of us? The new moon in Scorpio is a period that will be filled with very deep transformations, profound emotional renewals, and our rebirth. Symbolically, this is the 8th house, the house of Scorpio, the house of personal change and transformation. In astrology, it is primarily associated with spirituality, themes of death and rebirth, and personal changes. The 8th house also relates to resources, intimate relationships, closeness, and esotericism. For those for whom it is relevant, the 8th house also opens certain opportunities. That is, this is the house of trust, the house where we encounter very deep psychological and emotional processes that always lead us to personal rebirth. It is important to note that this new moon in Scorpio opens a period for us until May 12th, 2025. The waxing moon lasts until November 15th, 2024, and we have 2 weeks to manifest our intentions, plan something new, launch something, set new goals and tasks, and we are already looking specifically at which area of the horoscope this event will occur for each of you. Now let's take a closer look at what energies this new moon in Scorpio activates, what themes it raises, and what life situations it can generally create. First of all, I would like to remind you that this is a theme of transformation and rebirth. It is a process of destroying the old in order to make room for the creation of the new. And here, this new moon can refresh our perspectives and let go of what no longer serves us. This is about courage, about the depth of emotions, about sensuality, about intuition. These are all the energies of Scorpio that we will bring to the surface during the action of this new moon. And the main themes that will be activated are, of course, personal emotional boundaries, especially in relationships. This is a theme of working with the shadow side of our personality, about internal fears, hidden motives, and some concealed emotions. It is during this new moon that we have the opportunity to rid ourselves of toxic connections and relationships, restore balance in important, meaningful relationships, or renew them. In addition, the themes of control and ownership of resources, finances, joint resources, debt obligations, financial stability, and security will come to the forefront. For many of us, this new moon will encourage a reevaluation of these aspects of our lives. When it comes to possible life situations, there are scenarios related to relationships and the expression of emotions within those relationships. These are themes of some hidden grievances, themes of unresolved issues with close people in relationships. This is a very suitable period for sincere conversations, either about the topic of separation or about the renewal of relationships. This is a very good time to reassess your financial approach to life. It is also a great time to focus on personal projects and career. The 8th house is associated with entrepreneurship and investments, making this a favorable period to launch these aspects of life. The new moon in Scorpio occurs at the 9th and 10th degrees, which also carries certain symbolism. Symbolism of deep personal transformation. Here, what will be important for us is the revelation of the hidden aspects of our soul and our striving to understand the mysteries of life. Speaking of the symbolism of degrees according to the Sabian symbols, the 9th degree in Scorpio demonstrates to us a picture of how a dentist works, a picture that emphasizes the importance, the removal of what may disrupt our inner or outer harmony means a degree of liberation from discomfort, painful situations, and habits that hinder our spiritual or emotional growth. It symbolizes purification and the opportunity to strengthen our personal core. Speaking of the 10th degree of Scorpio, this degree shows us a symbol depicting deep-sea divers who collect pearls. Here the emphasis is on diving into our subconscious in search of the wisdom pearls that are hidden beneath the surface. This symbol inspires us to explore the depths of our psyche and to be willing to take risks for valuable outcomes, achieving awareness through inner exploration. In summary, the energy of the new moon in these degrees of Scorpio indicates that the focus is on attaining entirely new levels of understanding through emotional and spiritual cleansing, seeking valuable experiences deep within our subconscious. This period is strongly synchronized with the 8th house, and this cycle encourages us to free ourselves from old discomforts, pains, fears, and resentments. This is a period when we can intuitively discover some of our hidden talents and inner gifts that were previously inaccessible to us and apply them to renew ourselves and move forward in life. And if we talk about the ruler of this new moon, this time there are two, the planet Pluto and its co-ruler, the planet Mars. This creates a very curious twist for this new moon, because at the moment of the exact conjunction of the moon and the sun, these two planets are in an opposition aspect. Pluto has been direct since October, but it is still in Capricorn, while Mars is located in the zodiac sign of Cancer and also in the last degrees, just like Pluto. Be sure to pay attention to which houses of your horoscope these two planets occupy. It is Important to note that if these planets do not create an opposition in your personal chart, do not attribute this aspect to yourself. So, to begin with, Pluto in Capricorn in the last degrees of the sign symbolizes the 29th, 30th degree of Capricorn, representing the culmination of a very long cycle of deep transformations in the structures and foundations of our lives. Pluto in the final degrees of Capricorn carries a very powerful energy of completion and transformation, especially regarding issues of power and control. This concerns stable systems, both in society and in the personal lives of each of us. This degree is associated with the farewell to outdated structures and views that require a very strong and radical renewal. Here we experience a kind of removal of these old forms, creating space for a new approach to life and for transformation. In this position, it intensifies the energy of the new moon, focusing our attention on the necessity of implementing these deep changes, especially regarding issues of responsibility, discipline, and social roles. And, of course, a very wise and sober approach to these changes is needed here. Speaking of the second co-ruler, Mars, which it is also located at 29 to 30 degrees of the zodiac sign Cancer, where the focus is on very strong emotional drives and the culmination of our internal conflicts related to themes of safety, family, relationships, and emotional attachments. Here, Mars in Cancer completes a cycle related to the protection of personal boundaries and the need to safeguard oneself and loved ones. This is, of course, accompanied by a strong sense of vulnerability and emotional tension. These degrees enhance the determination to protect one's values and emotional boundaries, but at the same time they require letting go of outdated forms of dependency or excessive caution in our lives. Mars in this position emphasizes the importance of finding a balance between actively defending one's boundaries and values and addressing the needs of those around us, especially in the context of family and close relationships. Considering that this is an opposition, it is the opposition of the two rulers of this new moon, and of course the aspect creates a very powerful such energies of tension between the desire for control and stability and our emotional needs, our defensive reactions. That is, it reflects an aspect of deep internal and external struggle where each of us has to face a conflicting situation related to duty and emotional attachment between social demands and personal needs. The energy of opposition activates hidden fears and compels us to address issues of power and control, and this can manifest in work, in relationships, in family, in marriage, and in business relationships, absolutely in any sphere. Of course, the opposition activates key themes such as the theme of controlling vulnerability, the theme of very intense emotions and tension. And speaking of situations, conflicts will arise in relationships, especially related to family and work, where completely different needs and expectations clash. For example, professional ambitions and the need to maintain some emotional connection with loved ones. There will be situations related to endurance and maturity tests, will create situations for transforming our personal boundaries, and the opposition will prompt each of us to reconsider our personal boundaries in relationships. It is important to prioritize our personal needs and not to compromise ourselves for external obligations, debts, or circumstances. Now let's consider the aspects that are at play during this new moon in Scorpio. Of course, the opposition between Pluto and Mars will be complemented. Another opposition is the aspect between the two karmic nodes. This is the North Node in Aries, the South Node in Libra, 6 to 7 degrees. And of course, this aspect emphasizes the energetic transition from seeking harmony and dependence on the opinions of others to the theme of self-assertion and initiative, the aspect creates conditions where we are forced to seek a balance between comfort and the necessity to act independently, following our own desires and goals. The South Node in Libra symbolizes for us past habits and past behavior patterns related to yielding, a tendency towards compromise, and a focus on partnership are being challenged by the North Node in Aries, which demands the development of individuality, confidence, and decisiveness. The main themes of this aspect are, of course, dependence and independence, the theme of initiative, and personal power. Possible situations that will arise for each of us include various challenges in relationships, as well as themes of career and personal growth through active actions aligned with the North Node in Aries. This also involves finding inner balance, where we need to overcome some dependence on the opinions of others. The ideas of this desire to be good for everyone and our personal need for self-expression in Aries come at a time when we strive to put ourselves first. It is also worth noting two oppositions: the opposition of Venus in Sagittarius and retrograde Jupiter in Gemini, as well as Mercury in Scorpio and retrograde Uranus in Taurus. The Venus-Jupiter aspect gives us energetic tension between our thirst for freedom in relationships and our philosophical views, along with the theme of revising beliefs that may be either very superficial or unreliable. Here, retrograde Jupiter is at work. Venus in Sagittarius strives for a broad outlook, openness, and inspiration, and this can manifest in the search for different experiences and romantic opportunities. Retrograde Jupiter here emphasizes the need to return to the roots, to explore the roots of a situation or problem, to examine the details, and to rethink existing views or approaches. And of course, the aspect gives us conflict, an inner conflict, especially in the themes of love and finances. And here, of course, there may be impulsiveness and a certain lightness due to Venus, but retrograde Jupiter, of course, brings us back to reevaluating personal values and priorities. And another aspect is Mercury and retrograde Uranus. Here there is a clash between profound and intense deep thinking and contemplation related to Mercury and the strong desire for a breakthrough and unconventional thinking. And since Mercury is in Scorpio, it tends to be very detail-oriented in its analysis, almost like in a case, but even deeper based on an intuitive perception. And here, there is a very strong desire to uncover some hidden true motives, especially in situations that are very superficial. Retrograde Uranus in Taurus, of course, pulls us towards super radical changes and some unexpected insights. And these themes may relate to some material stability of ours, some established habits, because Uranus is in Taurus. Opposition brings sudden insights or situations where information surfaces very unexpectedly. It encourages us to reconsider old beliefs or previously made decisions, which manifests in communications and conflicts through Mercury. It is important to be very flexible and ready to embrace these changes here and now in order to make entirely new decisions. Nevertheless, at the moment of the new moon in Scorpio, harmonious aspects are also at play, and the most important of these are the trines, specifically the trine of Neptune, Mercury, and Mars, which create a large trine in the sky, forming a big triangle that provides a powerful combination of energies activating our intuition and fostering deep emotional interactions among those around us. And I remind you that retrograde Neptune in Pisces directs our attention to the theme of the inner world, intuition, creative self-expression, and our feelings and ideals. Mercury is in Scorpio, enhancing our analytical abilities and allowing us to penetrate the essence of things, finding hidden meaning in any communication. And Mars in Cancer emphasizes the theme of protecting our values, emotions, and boundaries. And this combination of energies contributes to the formation of a situation where intuition and empathy become very important tools in any type of relationship. Additionally, one can find creative solutions to problems this is related, among other things, to our emotions. Here, by the way, inspiration in art and various forms of creativity can manifest very strongly. And here conflicts can be resolved by using these energies very gently. In addition, we continue to have 3 bisextiles in effect. We talked about them earlier in other videos. They provide us with very powerful supportive energies. In order for us to undergo these transformations more easily, it is also important to note that at the time of the new moon, the Sun represents our consciousness and is in a trine with the planet of karma, retrograde Saturn in Pisces. This trine provides a very harmonious connection between our personal transformations and the discipline of Saturn. The Sun in Scorpio will guide us towards self-discovery, our emotional experiences, and the desire for transformation, while retrograde Saturn will focus on rethinking our duties, responsibilities, and boundaries, as well as analyzing past experiences to find completely new, mature approaches to our goals and life situations. Therefore, the trine is very supportive, activating our personal power with structural support from Saturn. The moon is also in this aspect with Saturn, but here the influence occurs at the level of the subconscious, affecting our psyche. Thus, the energies of this aspect can be very beneficial for us. Now let's consider the new moon in Scorpio separately for each of the 12 zodiac signs. Dear Virgos, the new moon in Scorpio occurs in your 3rd house of the horoscope and emphasizes your attention primarily on communications, the exchange of a large amount of information, and learning. The 3rd house also activates various travels, but not long distances. And of course, the energy here will specifically promote such a deep analysis of your ideas regarding Scorpio will lead to new acquaintances and significant contacts. Here, you can clarify your thoughts and beliefs precisely through discussions and dialogue. I remind you that Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, which means that very serious transformations will occur as a result of the exchange of information, particularly through the manifestation of your thinking in the surrounding world. Of course, the new moon will create situations related to new ideas and projects for you. The new moon always provides new energy for launching, and it can inspire you to learn, to start some new work, new activities, a business, or a new project. Everything related to intellect and communication will be very well realized in the next 6 months. It is a good period, and situations will arise for rethinking any of your interactions, especially those related to communication with your close relatives, brothers, and sisters. It is also very beneficial to engage in various educational processes, to enhance your qualifications, to participate in various master classes and seminars, and to explore your internal beliefs through the 3rd house of the horoscope. Work with your thoughts and resolve various tense situations in communication. To work with the energy of this new moon, you should apply some written practices, meditation, spiritual practices, perhaps study new information, or communicate more with new people to exchange ideas and find or gain insights precisely through information. It is very good to engage in any communication and to focus on self-development, or to take short trips and analyze your thoughts and beliefs through the 3rd house of the horoscope. By the way, this can also involve social platforms where you express your opinions, positions, and views. However, it is important to consider the opposition of the ruler of this new moon, Pluto in Capricorn, and Mars in Cancer, which affects your 5th and 11th houses. This will likely manifest through your romantic relationships or relationships with your children. In personal life, naturally, the themes of social interactions through the 11th house and participation in public activities will be significant. This can lead to conflicting situations between your personal, so to speak, identity and social expectations according to the 11th house of the horoscope. There may potentially be a creative crisis or increased social activity. Conflicts and tensions may also arise from various intense social interactions, generally influencing relationships on social life. It is beneficial to engage in such emotionally deep work on oneself, working through your desires, plans, dreams, and ideals related to the 11th house. You might consider getting involved in charity or volunteering to work through the energies of this new moon. In any case, I wish you success. Please subscribe, like, and share this video. See you later.